As we enter the final act of Season 1, it has been a brutal year for NIU. Just one win on the board, and still with 4 to play, this school, while not in contention for any bowl action, is looking to maybe just close strong, as not only are they playing for just some pride, but they're playing to maybe try to convince some recruits that are still on their board that, hey, maybe we're not a complete disaster of a program right now, and maybe convince some of the players that are currently on this team, hey, don't leave, we're building something here. And even though it was a rough year one, we're showing signs of improvement. Unfortunately for us, we're running into one of the better teams in the MAC this year, Toledo. This 6-2 squad looking to compete for a MAC championship is all about airing the football off, the best passing offense in the conference. And already they're getting it going to the 36-yard line. Tucker Gleason, the quarterback, as he throws it underneath for the tight end, as they'll get themselves to a 3rd down and 6 from the 40-yard line. Outside, that's broken up. There's a whole bunch of receivers to keep an eye on, but for now, the offense will take the field. Jalen Post still the starter, as you know, we're still missing Telly Johnson. He may come back for the final game or two of the season, but until then, Jalen Post still the guy here, as Josh Holst is going to throw over the middle. Adom Bryan, 1st down grab and moving the chains, 34-yard line, handing it off. Poe got a little bit of a lane, and we'll get 5 on the play. 2nd down and 5. Hand it off out of the pistol formation. Poe will fall forward, get 4, 3rd down and 1 situation. And Amir Smith, the backup running back, checks in, gets stonewall, line of scrimmage, and then 4th and 1, direct snap to Poe. That's been a good go-to for our offense on the 4th and short situations. That direct snap to the back. Now on 2nd down, passes dropped by Gary Givens. Was not the best throw, but still got to bring that one in. 3rd down and 10, though. Holst, room to run. 3 yards shy, though, as he gets pushed out. 4th and 3, and they'll punt. Now Toledo throws one screen. Vanderos, the best receiver on the team, with a lot of room to run. And he goes from their own 16 all the way to enemy territory. And this team has so many weapons, not just vertically, but they can get the ball in their hands. And that's basically an extension of their run game. Screens, pop passes, a lot of short stuff. They don't run the ball much. And thankfully, the defense, when we do try to run the ball, is able to bring them down, so we'll get the football back. And Holst up top, Bryan hitting his back, can't bring it in. 3rd down and 8, as they'll throw. Solid time in the pocket, but that pass just short of the line, and no one really got open vertically, so gonna have to punt it away. And I don't know how many times we're gonna want to give this Toledo offense a good field position, as they're already dangerous as it is. From the 46, Gleason over the middle, and that's gonna be brought in. And Gleason already over 100 yards in the 1st quarter, but a blitz from Erweiler. He gets the sack, and he's been a really nice player for us. Unfortunately, he is a senior, so he'll be out of here after the year, but we've been really enjoying what Erweiler and Jelani Williams and some of these other defensive players have been able to give us. Defense gets off the field, but one thing that's going to be interesting to monitor is the lack of kicking ability that this team on Toledo has. They have routinely passed up a lot of longer distance field goals. They feel like they don't have the ability to hit anything basically beyond maybe 45 yards. So that's going to give our defense a little bit of leeway here to bend, not break. It was a scoreless 1st quarter. A 2nd down and 10 rolls around. Holst gonna step into pressure. He gets hit. 3rd down and 10, as Holst is rolling right. And Holst, you're going to have to throw that one down the field. He takes a shot, gets it to Adom Bryan. What a grab. 2 defenders in the area, but Bryan brings it in, and already in the red zone on one big play, as NIU has to burn an injury timeout. Gavin Weston down after a loss of 2. Holst gets sacked, loses 8 more. 3rd down and 20, so that big pass play is not going to let us get into the end zone, but it will give us field goal range. Luckily for us, we do have a capable kicker, and this one not all that long of a field goal, but he knocks it through. 3-0 NIU on top. As the quick RPO throw right down the seam, and Miles Thompson's going to have to drag him down, and a big gain for Toledo, who already finds themselves in enemy territory. 1 Vanderos play, and they are at the 34. Play action roll out, and he's throwing it right to the linebacker. McCullers picks it off, taking it the other way. Pass was intended for Zamirian Lang, and the linebacker McCullers had him covered. So nice job for the defense, who's been playing really good throughout this 1st quarter and a half, to make sure this Toledo high-flying passing attack is not pouring on the points. As now Gary Givens on a 1st down catch and run, gain of 15, 27-yard line. line. Handoff Poe right up the middle, and Jalen Poe's got 10. And Poe already 10 carries on the day. Play action, Holst. He's just going to keep it. And Josh Holst is going to get 6. 3rd down and 1 from the 8. And this play had no blocking, as Gavin Weston's injury might not have been able to help this already weak interior offensive line, but we will tack on a field goal. 6-0 so far, and I think you got to be happy with how NIU's played this first half. No points on the board for Toledo quite yet, but this offense has already shown that they can move the football. Throw outside. Vander Ross with another grab. He's got the first down. It seems like nobody can cover him. He's already got 5 grabs for 75 yards, and then they can go the other way, and they'll have Rudolph for the first down. 38-yard line. Gleason over the middle. Rudolph again. Doesn't seem to matter who's in coverage. Not even Jacob Finley's able to keep up with some of these receivers as Gleason checks it down out of the backfield. Running back's going to be chased, and he's got the speed. Goes out of bounds. 11-yard line. Gleason is going to roll right. Throws in the face of pressure. Touchdown. And Trayvon Rudolph. That was a great delivery from Gleason. Just took a shot, and it was a great ball. And just like that, Toledo on top, 7-6, and feels like no matter how much progress NIU makes, they're never able to cash in with touchdowns. And, you know, you get 2 solid drives, get 2 field goals, and all it takes is one couple of string of good plays from Toledo, and they got the lead. But 4th down and 1 here, crucial situation as they hand it off. Jalen Poe got the first down. NIU wants to get something going before the half ends. Just 1:20 to go. Holst rolling out. He's going to run forward, and Holst been using his legs a little bit more today. 56 seconds to go, and Poe right up the middle on the carry, and that's a nice gain of 12. As now 42 seconds. Holst is going to have a wide open Partridge over the middle, and a timeout. Kevin Weston banged up again, and NIU's offensive line cannot afford these injuries as 37 seconds to play. 27-yard line. Holst rolling right. He's going to have nowhere to go this time around, and now Josh Holst is banged up, and he looks to be in some serious pain. Jalen Macon checks into the game as Macon, in the face of pressure, gets it to LaDon Bryan. As now coming back out, Holst, you can see he's really hurt, but he's going to try to come back out to finish this drive at the very least, evaluate him at halftime. Morrow with the first down grab, as now at the 15-yard line, 19 seconds to go. Holst is going to go for the end zone, and it's knocked away. As now 15-yard line, 12 seconds to go. Holst is going to roll. He's just going to get rid of the football. It'll be 4th down. Not really able to move much, as the kick now for a 9-7 halftime lead is good. Holst wanted to finish the drive, keep the adrenaline going, but once it kind of wore off, he got to the locker room, got checked out. It was basically determined he's not going to be able to continue in this game. He is able to play, but definitely shouldn't be playing. So Jalen Macon's going to have to wrap up the second half, and here he comes onto the field, and despite Toledo's over 220 yards passing in the first half, just 7 points to show for it. See what Macon has is he's now got a second chance at this one as Partridge on 3rd down, not able to get the first, and great field position for Toledo. Screen outside. Rudolph got 3 defenders on him. He'll get 4, set up 3rd down and 6 as Gleason will deliver, and right at the first down marker, they give it to him. As now at the 46-yard line, play action. I mean, not really a point in doing much play action because they basically have yet to run the football, as Gleason's over 250 now at the 24-yard line. Screen outside, and another first down inside the red zone. And this Toledo offense coming out and on fire right now as they got another completion. Gain of 7 inside the 10. Read option. Gleason, keeper, and with 1 man to beat, he just stiff-armed Thompson, slowed him down at least. But now they'll finish the drive off with a handoff. Broken tackle, touchdown, and Toledo takes the lead. And now it's up to Jalen Macon. NIU fans were calling for his benching, and now, well, they're forced to see him again. Let's see what he's got, though, as he's got to be warmed up by this point. He's got that 1 drive under his belt, and now we're going to lead on the run game. Jalen Poe has got it to 2nd and inches, but the play action. Macon stops and throws it, and a nice ball to Morrow. First down at the 40-yard line. 2nd down now as they throw at the screen. Poe got a nice block, cuts it inside, and Jalen Poe once again in scoring range because this offense finally put it into the end zone as Macon rolls right, throws it back middle. Jalen Poe on the check down, and Poe for 8 yards. 3rd down and 2. They'll run it. Poe is going to be getting the first down. Nice job fighting for it as at the 19. Macon over the middle. That's going to be caught in the face of a defender. Touchdown. Applegate's going to get it into the end zone. A dangerous ball potentially, but he put it up there for his tight end, and he made the play. Now the 2-point conversion for the the 3-point lead. Partridge got it, and another nice ball, put it up high. Defender couldn't make a play on it. 17-14's your score, and right back to Rudolph they go as Toledo's offense just, I mean, this is like maybe the second or third time they've actually properly run the football with a running back, but 3rd down and 5, the situation here is we're winding down the 3rd quarter. Gleason gonna throw right down the middle, and Rudolph again. 300+ yards for Gleason. 9 seconds to play in the 3rd, and a sack. Unblocked Jelani Williams gets in there. 2nd down and 16. They'll run the football. Maybe caught us off guard as all the times they're going to run the football. It's going to be 2nd and 16. But now 3rd down and 9. They run it again. Read option, and it's not going to work. 4th down and 4. And I talked about this earlier. From the 30-yard line, they're punting. Their kicker must not have any sort of capabilities of hitting anything past like 40 yards, as at least NIU will take over with the lead. Macon stepping up and running, and Jalen Macon is going to get 4. 3rd down and 7. Don't want to go 3 and out in this situation, but Toledo sends the blitz, and Macon throws it the other way. Got it completed, but not going to be a first, and they'll punt it. You don't want to go for that far backed up, but as Rudolph brings in another grab, his 8th of the game. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for Gleason, who's going to try to run for it, and Gleason breaks a tackle, but it'll be 4th and 1, and Toledo, this time they're going to go for it. Gleason is going to throw outside, wide open man, and a 1st down. Even though Finley got there quickly, it was just enough, and now at the 45-yard line, Gleason rolls out, breaks out of a sack, throws it down the field. It's tipped and knocked away, as Finley maybe had a chance at that one off the tip. Now NIU sending the blitz on 3rd down and 10. Gleason throwing it up top. He wants 1-on-1. Broken up, Miles Thompson. And NIU takes over as they got the lead. And Poe for a gain of 8. That's his 20th carry. Now Amir Smith checks in. He's going to lose yards on that one. 3rd down and 5. Macon has some time with a wide open man, and that's just his first outright bad ball of the game. And that's been an issue with him this season. Why he got benched is ball placement and accuracy issues. That one was just a bad one. 3rd down and 10, though. Toledo, could they go 3 and out? Gleason, though, a lot of time. Chucking it deep. One-on-one coverage. And eventually it works. The second man came over, and he still couldn't knock it out. Over 380 for Gleason. He throws outside and caught for a touchdown. Toledo on top. And eventually, I guess if you chuck it deep enough, one of them's going to go your way. And that time, it hurt us badly, because now with 3.5 to go, you look to this offense to put up more points as Macon. And the last time he missed that route on 3rd down, this time a little high, but it does get completed. 2nd down and 5. Macon rolls out and on the move, on the run. Got it! LaDon Bryan inside the 30-yard line. Field goals aren't going to be enough, so you need to put it in the end zone. We got 1 touchdown earlier, but for a team that has struggled when they hit that red zone area, they need to punch it in this time. Throw on the run, going to be caught for Bryan, and he'll get 5. 2-minute warning approaching as they go play action, keeping it in the air, and going to Applegate again. Broken tackle, and he's fighting, reaching for the 5-yard line. Goal to go. Hand off, Poe, outside, touchdown. NIU's got the lead with under 2 minutes to play. And Toledo, what do they got in response? They're going to throw to Trayvon Rudolph again. He's got 9. 2nd down and 1. Gleason outside, and well, guess who? Rudolph again. I think that's 10 catches for him. Gleason's over 400 on the day as they'll throw once again. Another 5-yarder. 3rd down and 1, though. 1 minute to play. Gleason gonna try to run for it, but he runs into Jelani Williams. It's 4th down. Gleason, big play over the middle. It's caught. And even though they didn't get much else on that drive, they got the big 4th down conversion, run the clock down, take the field goal, and we're headed to overtime. As Toledo, they were pretty content playing it passive and just going to overtime. It still feels like maybe they're not as threatened by this NIU team with how conservative they've been with some of their play calls. But NIU has pushed this 6-2 Toledo team to OT, and in an attempt to really spoil their hopes of playing for a MAC championship, can NIU get their 2nd win of the season, as they will be getting the coin toss. It'll be Toledo winning it, though, so it will be their defense taking the field first, and we turn to Jalen Macon, who I think has overall played pretty good given the situation. Let's go to overtime period number 1, and Who knows if it will be one and done or will we be headed to a multitude of overtimes. Jalen Poe on the carry as he'll get 1 yard. 2nd down and 9. Macon is going to go over the middle. Apple gets wide open. He's going to go all the way. Touchdown. We turn to the defense to try to finish this game off. The first game this season for NIU to go past 30 points on the scoreboard. Gleason going to throw underneath. Not going to get much though. Just 2 yards as now 2nd down and 8. Gleason, he's going to try to run for it. He's got the 1st down and more. Inside the 10, down to the 5. Gleason for the tie, got 5 yards to go. It'll go into the end zone. Touchdown. And we're headed to second overtime as they take the extra point. It'll be 31-31. Now Toledo's ball first as they go outside. Caught, and a wide open receiver was only going to get 3 yards. They're too far along the sideline. 2nd down and 7. Pass is caught. Vandeross to the 10. Basically goal to go as Gleason outside. Caught, spinning at the 1, but he gets brought down. And now a handoff. Trying to get it done with the run game. Erweiler blows it up. Loss of 1. 3rd down and 2. Gleason on the keeper. He's not going to get there. And from the 1 yard line, they're going to take the field goal. Kick is good, but NIU can win it with a touchdown. And a field goal will send it to a 2-point shootout. As now NIU, the closest that they have come to getting a big-time victory all year, as it's going to be a loss in the backfield. Amir Smith checked in and lost 5. 30-yard line, 2nd down and 15. Macon got to throw it, and he's going to get to LaDon Bryant. Couldn't take the sack there, and we like to see a 10-yard gain. 3rd down and manageable. Macon is going to go. He wants to win, but it's over the head of Bryant. He went for it all, and I can't fault him for it, but a field goal for 2-point shootouts and a triple overtime is good. And NIU, we're down to just a couple of 2-point conversions here. Macon, he's going to throw it, and he's stepping up. Outside, he got hit as he was throwing. It's intercepted in the end zone. And Toledo, he's going to take it out, but nobody's going to be able to track him down. He's at the 40, and no one really in sight. It's going to be a pick 6 on the 2-point conversion. And a win for Toledo. How do you invent new ways to lose games? NIU loses at the buzzer on a 2-point pick 6. I don't know if that's ever happened before, but 36-34, Gleason's 464 yards is going to get the job done. And even though NIU put up their best offensive performance of the season, it still wasn't enough. Macon was 16 of 18, 2 touchdowns, and I think overall had a really nice game. The best game any quarterback has played all season for us, or at least the best half any quarterback has played. Still wasn't enough, though. As even though the opponent, they ran for like 30 yards. Didn't matter when they have that many receivers getting involved, that many receivers succeeding. And another loss, this one hurting though, as we had a real chance to upset this very, very good Toledo offense. Just not to be though, at least I can say it's a positive. The offense had their best showing of the season and the best QB play that we have had. As we turn our attention to the recruiting board, there's a couple of players to talk about, of course, in this episode, but how about we talk about one of the lower rated prospects on our board, but a player that I do find absolutely interesting and that I am heavily pursuing. I've said it a couple of times that, you know, when we go and talk about a player, there is some fascinating players every single year to talk about, some of which are spread across the nation and some of which are very much players that we have a chance at. And for 2-star safety, Masarena Alea, we are so fascinated by him as he stands at 6'3", 233 pounds, and a pure ball of clay type of player. And those types of players are always so interesting because they are full of talent, full of athleticism, full of just tools, and it's up to you to mold them. This is a guy who's very new to football, only 2 years under his belt after moving from Nigeria to the States, enrolling at high school in Marion, Iowa, and he has taken to football adequately, you know, as much as you would like for a player who didn't even know really much about the sport or knew how to play it. You know, obviously a coach sees a 6'3", 230-pounder who's got some freakish athletic tools and says, yeah, I want him on the football team. I don't know what he's really going to do, but I want that athlete on our team. He was an absolute demon on special teams. This is a guy who They played him at safety mainly because he is just a run and hit type of guy. He is fast. He will chase ball, get ball, see ball, attack ball type of guy. He hits hard. He can tackle okay, more of a hitter than a tackler. His form and his technique are very lacking. That comes with the lack of experience. But when it comes to him as a defensive player and playing him at the safety spot, I mean, he's got basically zero coverage feel, zero IQ when it comes to that. He is all athlete, no IQ, and that's just not because it's not because he's not capable, it's just he hasn't played. He's new to football. He's got 2 years under his belt. He's still very much learning, and if you get Alea on your team, he probably is a guy who needs to be redshirted. Maybe you could throw him out there on special teams early, but if you want that extra year of eligibility, redshirting him probably would be the move. But for a guy who has all the tools in the world to be special, there are guys like this every single season. And, sometimes they go to schools and they blossom with the right development and the right mentorship and the right coaches, the right time. And it is a beautiful thing. Or sometimes they just never get it and they start too late and they're just too far behind and they don't ever click. And some coaches don't have the patience for that. Some coaches are willing to let the player grow. And for us, we want to take a shot at Alea because great gunner, great special teams player, but I think there is real potential here. This is a guy who, among all the crazy raw 2-star, 3-star athlete type of guys, this is the one I would be betting on, and that's why he is so high on our board. And it helps that he's, from Iowa, so it's not too far of a distance to travel, but he's come a long way just from, being from another country, new to football. He could be landing at a Division I school, as there are a handful of Division I schools offering him scholarships, us being one of them, us being one of only 2 FBS teams offering him a scholarship. Us and Ball State kind of see the vision here. So Alea is a player that we're quite aggressive on for a 2-star prospect. You don't see teams getting aggressive for the 168th best safety in the nation, but we're pretty aggressive because we want this raw athlete on our team, and we think he has a lot of potential. Despite it being the best game of our season last week, it still wasn't enough for a victory, and now we travel on the road once more, taking on UMass in a rainy game, as this is not quite as a difficult opponent as UMass, a middle-of-the-pack MAC team, and new to the MAC this year, but still, it was disappointing to have the result go down the way it did last week. I guess if there is some positive news, though, we will have Josh Holtz back for this game. He will be starting, even though Jalen Macon had a nice performance. We're just going to let it ride with Josh Holtz. Macon has already had a number of games throughout the season, so let's continue to see what we have at Josh Holtz as the kickoff away. NIU takes the football first against a 4-5 UMass team on the road. Rogers on the return. One cut to the outside. Look at Rogers go past the 40 into midfield. He gets tracked down at the 41-yard line. And a nice return, the best kick return we've had all year, and that's a nice way to start the game. Jalen Poe back out on the field, him, Gary Givens, and Josh Holtz taking the field as Telly Johnson's still going to be out another game, it looks like. So Poe going to get the start. He got over 20 carries last week. Will he get that again? Holtz to throw it now. 2nd down and 2. Over the middle, he takes a shot, but Gary Givens brings it in. Breaks a tackle, and Givens to the 16. Let's hope after last week this offense gets a little bit more confidence as well, as they put up their season high in points, 34, and let's see if they can put up similar numbers as they get a 5-yard run there. Now set up 3rd down and 4. Holtz outside, Givens cuts it upfield, touchdown, and a hot start for NIU. That's about the best first couple of minutes you'll see from this team all year. Quarterback Grant Jordan for UMass takes the field. Jawan Price, the team's lead back, and he has been the guy that they've ran this offense through. Also, keep an eye on Reese Atkins, the tight end. They love going to their tight ends quite a bit, as there goes Jawan Price. One cut to the outside, and Jawan Price's first carry's going to be a nice gain of 18. As they'll go with another handoff. Price, he's going to go to the edge again this time around, not going to get there, and he puts the ball on the ground, and scooped up, taking it the other way. Touchdown, NIU. The Huskies going to scoop and score, and yeah, this is definitely the best start that we've had. 2 minutes into the game, and it's 14-0. as the Huskies. Love the energy I'm seeing from this team early on as Jordan's going to throw a deep ball. That's a wide open man. McConaughey got it. And a gain of 37. UMass, though, with an injury. That's already their second of the game as that pass up high brought in. Gain of 5. As they'll go to a 3rd down and 5. Jordan floats it up, one-on-one coverage. It's going to be knocked away, and NIU takes over at the 5-yard line. So they are backed up, but nice job from Jalen Poe is going to get an 11-yard gain. One of our offensive linemen banged up there as we already had a couple of injuries last game for our offensive line. Another one this game as, yeah, we really can't afford to have this weak offensive line in trouble because you get results like that. A safety as we thought we were safe from that 11-yard run, but I guess not. Holst ran a little too far back, but the defense comes up big. Miles Thompson with the interception. This has been a wild 4 minutes. Big kick return, scoop and score, safety, interception. A lot of things going on right now, but the offense for NIU, I guess it's going to be a net positive if you put points up on the board. That safety going to help us, I guess, move down the field with an interception. Poe is going to get it to 4th down and 1. Could take the field goal and keep padding on that lead, but the offense wants to really hammer things in. I like the idea. Ignore the scoreboard, put points up on the board, win or lose the situation, the record irrelevant. And you get sacked there. 3rd down and 16. Holst gonna throw it underneath, just play it safe. Brian is gonna have a 3-yard gain, and this time they will take the field goal. So kick almost blocked, and I think it might have impacted the kick because glass got hit and the kick is no good. So even though it wasn't blocked, I think the kick was disrupted enough for it to force a miss, and the rain played a factor as a fumble now. Oh my goodness, a lot of fumbling, a lot of mistakes going on. Rain really playing a factor here as Price is going to get the 1st down. 37-yard line. Jordan outside, almost picked off again, and that one would have been a house call. As a 3rd down and 9 for Jordan. He's rolling right. He's got a lot of room. He's going to run for it, and I think he was a little scared. I don't know if he's used to running the football. They're going to end up punting it, as that's going to be Poe for a carry of 2. Set up 3rd down and 8. First quarter winding down as Holst. It's got an open man, and just enough space to deliver that one to Partridge. And a 1st down at the 48. Handing it off. There goes Jalen Poe, fighting ahead. Falling forward for a gain of 8. And now 2nd down and 2. Here goes Amir Smith. And Smith with a solid carry. I do at least feel like this team has a little bit more confidence to them, as that's going to be a bad loss on the screen. Loss of 5. That's going to be how the first quarter ends. Set up with a 3rd and 15. And an open man, Partridge. 3rd down and 15, converted. And into scoring territory. 26-yard line as Holst is going to move right. He's going to try to maybe run for it. He's got enough speed, gets a block, and he's got the 1st down into the red zone. Handed it off. Poe is going to have it to the 10-yard line. 2nd down and 5. Holst open. Morrow inside the 5. It's going to be ruled a touchdown. That was close. Morrow, I think he injured himself reaching for the score. He got hurt. They're going to review this, and Morrow, will it be all for nothing? Not the best look there, but we're going to get another view of this one, and Morrow is going to be sure. He injured himself reaching for a touchdown that's not even going to end up counting. So the ball is going to be placed at the 1-yard line. Morrow leaves the game, and now in the goal line package from the 1, handing it off. Jalen Poe, not able to find anywhere to go, gets back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and goal. About now, outside run, cuts it back in, and nope, loses 2. 3rd down and goal. Handed it off, no, throw it. Applekitt's gonna be held up by the defense. 4th down and goal. And as he's thrown, we end up with nothing. Are you kidding me right now? That is just brutal. As even though you're up by 2 scores, still you could tell the squad's making a couple of mistakes here. And, you know, again, could have taken the field goal, but wanting to keep your foot on the gas pedal, I think regardless of the scoring situation, you get 4th down and goal from, you know, the 2 or 3 yard line. You should go for it regardless. But that's going to be UMass digging themselves out of a hole of their own territory at the 44-yard line. Jordan got an open man and a 1st down grab. As look at them moving the football better than they have all game. Read option. No, he's going to throw that one out. And there you go. Atkins, the tight end. He gets 6 to set up 3rd down and 4. They'll run it. Price, a lot of room up the middle. And Price all the way to the 13-yard line halfway through the 2nd quarter as they'll keep it on the ground. Price going to make his move to the 7-yard line And now UMass, they can cut this down to a one-score game. The RPO for the first down is going to be completed. And now goal to go. Handoff. Price untouched. Touchdown. UMass cuts it to a one-score game. And despite how this game has seemingly been all NIU, it is a one-score game. But Jalen Poe is banged up after a really nice run. Now down 2 running backs. Ball slips out of Holst's hands in the rain. 3rd down and 10. Holst, in the face of pressure, is going to have the pass off the hands of his tight end, and they'll punt it to UMass, who I really feel like should be down in this game more than they are. But man, couple of mistakes from NIU. And now they're moving the football to enemy territory. 2:11 to play. Handing it off to Price. And nice open field tackle at least. Injuries are hitting these teams as well. UMass, I think that's up to 3 injuries. I think NIU's at 3 as well. Morrow, Poe, and one of our offensive linemen down as Jordan is going to throw on the run. And that's a nice catch. He brought that one in. A minute to play in the half. Jordan tucking and running. He's going to slide down for 6. As now 3rd down and 4, hits extra men on the blitz, passes high, and the hit jars it loose. So UMass will settle for a field goal try. It is good. So still the Huskies lead. 49 seconds to play. You got something to end this half. Holst rolling. He's throwing on the run. Brian, what a grab! He brings that one in, and now we're in business to maybe get some points and get some momentum back on our side. 40 seconds to go. Underneath for Pardras. Patch is a little behind him. Maybe negated some catch and run opportunities, but still a 7-yard gain. As Holst, now he gets sacked. And he loses 9. Now they run it down to about 10 seconds to play. Holst throws it up top. Got Brian diving, but he can't bring it in. As with 6 seconds to go, they're going to send out a Hail Mary, and the pressure got in. He's just going to let it fly. It's intercepted, and as long as you bring him down, it's a pretty inconsequential interception as he runs it past the 40-yard line, brought down by Holst. That'll be how you end the half, but a very eventful half. Safety, interception, scoop and score, big plays, missed field goals, injuries. A lot has gone down. But ultimately, the Huskies maintain a 14-12 lead, and it really could be more. I mean, you had that 4 downs from the 1-yard line, basically. You couldn't punch it in. And then you had some other scenarios where maybe you could have had some points on the board, a field goal missed. And now UMass starts the football off in the second half with a 1st down completion. 2nd down and 4, though. RPO over the middle. Ty Harden brings it in. He's been their go-to wide receiver so far as they have Jordan thrown to a wide open Reese Atkins. And Atkins is going to get it to the 35-yard line. Jordan over 200 yards passing. Blitz sent in, and there's Atkins again. And he's going to be close to the marker. They give him a 2nd down and 1. And a handoff as Price gets a pass 2 defenders, breaks through some arm tackles, and he'll get a 1st down into the red zone. 16-yard line. Jordan to the air. He's throwing on the run. Touchdown! Wide open in the zones was Reese Atkins. And the UMass offense able to come to life in the start of the second half, and they got the lead. And you can't get too frustrated if you're NIU. You don't want to lose another game in another annoying way, but now you're going 3-0. And the first minutes of this 3rd quarter have been all UMass right now. Jordan is going to have a lot of time in the pocket, and he's going to throw one up. Atkins! And they are just feeding him, and he's making every play. Toss it out. Price, lot of room, and there goes Price into the red zone, and down to the 9-yard line. Gain of 24, goal to go. And NIU, I mean, they're going to be threatening to go down by 2 scores as they'll throw the bubble screen outside. Not going to get there. 4th down and goal, so at least you hold to a field goal try. Kick is going to be good. But UMass now up by 8. Holst in the offense, you got to do something. You've been pretty cold, and that's a bad throw. 3rd down and 8. As Holst is going to have a barely avoiding 3 and outs on back-to-back drives. Poe on the carry. He's back from injury. 6-yard gain as Poe. We really need him if we're going to want to win this game. LaDon Bryant, speaking of players we need if we want to win this game, Bryant for the first down. Now a handoff to Poe, and he'll get just 2 yards on the play. 3rd down and 4. Under center, and he's got a wide open man coming across the field. Ladon Bryant, there you go. We want to see one of our playmakers start to heat up, and Bryant with a couple of first down grabs on this drive. As Holst underneath, there goes Rogers. He had the nice kick return earlier. He checks into the game and gets a first down grab. 39 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Holst over the middle, caught Bryant, another first down with his 3rd of the drive. We start the 4th quarter with Jalen Poe to the edge, touchdown. Needed that one badly after the hot start. It's been pretty scoreless. Now on the board and a 2-point conversion for the tie as Holst to the air has an open Ladon Bryant, and what a way for him to finish off that drive. 3 first downs and a 2-point conversion grab for Ladon Bryant that drive. He came up big, and let's see who on defense can come up big for us is Jordan. He's been finding him all second half. Atkins, another catch. I mean, my goodness, we cannot cover this tight end. As there goes Price for a gain of 7. 3rd down and 1. Handoff to Price, cuts it back right. He gets the first, now at the 47-yard line. Under 8 minutes to play as they go to read option. Look at Jordan, lot of room to run. And he tries to make a man miss. He'll still get 16 though on the carry. Now a handoff, Price, stiff arm in the backfield, but he's just going too far south, and it's a loss of 6. Now sits up 3rd down and 13. Jordan floats one. Atkins, he brings it in again. His 10th grab, and I feel like every single one's been in the second half. Price, he's just staying on his feet. Goal to go. And this UMass offense just trying to not be denied. And Finley gets the tackle for a loss. 3rd down and goal. Jordan, will he look for Atkins again? No, he's going to get sacked. And that changes everything because now I don't think they're going for it. They're kicking the field goal. Kick is good. But NIU is down by 3 with 4 minutes to play, and you need to come up big here if you want your 2nd win of the season. There you go, get it to Gary Gibbons for the first down, 36-yard line. Holst has got an open man right down the middle. Pass was a little high, but still brought in. 8 yards, and now 3rd down and 2. Handoff to Poe, and a nice little hesitation there. Gets to the outside, gets the first down. As now 3 minutes to go, Holst is going to throw one down the field. Gibbons shielding, and he hangs on. Nice job from Gibbons to shield off, make the grab, hang on, but now a sack. My goodness, 2nd and 22. It seems like you hit one good play, and then you get delivered with 2 bad ones. 3rd and 22. Holst to the air. He's going for the first. He's got it. We'll get down to the 1. And the 2-minute warning is hit. Now a handoff. Amir Smith, touchdown. Huskies are on top, and they turn to the defense with 1.5 minutes to play. Can they end this losing streak? As they go with a handoff to Price. You have a limited amount of runs you can have left, but that one works out. 1:26 to play underneath. There goes Atkins again. Another grab, 9 yards, 2nd down and 1. As they're just attacking the weakness. They can't cover a tight end. And a first down carry from the 47-yard line. 3rd down and 4. Jordan stepping up, throwing over the head of his receiver, and it's intercepted. Porter brings it in, and that is going to be an NIU victory. UMass is down too many timeouts, and that ball is going to sail into our hands, and we have our 2nd victory of the season, even though this offense for UMass put up 460 yards, and basically we could not guard Reese Atkins to save our life in the second half. We still were able to just come out on top, and it really was probably just because of the hot start that this team got. Jalen Poe, 77 yards on 18 carries, and Jawan Price was really impressive, was able to handle the load, got about 100 yards on the ground, and Reese Atkins, 12 grabs for 152 yards and a touchdown, and I feel like at least 10 of those grabs were at like the second half mark, so I don't know what it was about this team, just could not cover him. Ladon Bryant, though, really nice game. Once again, continuing to be our leading receiver, and for good reason. Just 1 sack for the defense, but the 2 picks, Trey Porter, Miles Thompson, bringing both of them in. But let's go to recruiting, where we have actually a lot of recruiting news. Baraka Rugamba, if I'm saying that correctly, hopefully I am. He commits to NIU, and a defensive tackle. We really do need some D-tackle help, so 87 strength, not going to have any speed to him, but hopefully can develop into a solid run stopper. On top of that, we also have plenty of news from some of the top prospects in the nation, as we have one major commit and another major prospect to talk about. Top of that, when it comes to some of our players, we have guys like Shaq Alba, who we are really targeting at linebacker, and we'll have a couple other players that we'll talk about later on. But let's get to some of the bigger news currently. How about Sean Oden, a guy we talked about a few episodes ago, the #1 corner in the nation and basically a spitting image of Richard Sherman. He is going to be headed to the University of Alabama in a massive get for the Crimson Tide, as this has been a team that has produced many great defensive backs, not just at the college level, but the NFL level. First round picks, all pros, pro bowlers, and this guy might be the best defensive back that this program has seen among all of them. And you think of all these great DBs that they've had. It's not even me saying that and dismissing anyone that has been a DB on that team in the past. This team has just got themselves a lockdown #1 corner and a guy who is going to be incredibly intelligent on the back end of that defense. So congratulations to Alabama, and everybody else is going to have to deal with Sean Oden as we move on to the next story that we have. I think we could take a peek at the nation's #1 edge rusher over the next couple of seasons. Texas is going to have a lot to talk about when it comes to top tier edge rushing talent, and we'll get to the first one this year. #1 edge rusher in the nation, Robert Morello. This is the type of guy that you look at and say, this could be a #1 overall draft pick. This could be a 10 sack in the NFL a year type of guy. This is someone who has that rare bend, that rare speed power combination off the edge. Is the type of guy that has incredible bend and the ability that when that ball is snapped, he is shooting off the line of scrimmage and he can go around and underneath any tackle that you can think of. He is somebody who has unbelievable speed and bend combination, just a pure pass rusher, a guy who's gone over double-digit sacks multiple years in his high school career, and is probably going to translate that to the high school level, and you presume to the NFL level one day. I mean, even his weaknesses are not even really all that bad, and if his biggest weakness is this, that he's a average run defender, then that's pretty good if you ask me, that he could still be playable even early on in his career on those early downs and still be adequate. And I think there is still room for him to improve as an overall run defender. But when you're looking at pure pass rush ability, I'm not going to be surprised if this is the type of guy who's leading the entire nation in sacks in a couple of seasons, and he is definitely the prize of the defensive side of the football in the entire nation, and whoever gets him is getting a special player. He's from Texas, so obviously schools like Texas and Texas A&M are going to be attacking him. I mean, A&M especially has had a lot of defensive talent come through their doors, maybe not always use them the best, but you still got guys like Nick Scorton going on to the NFL as an edge rusher and being a pretty high draft pick. But Texas wants him, Georgia wants him, LSU wants him. So Robert Morello, definitely a lot of teams' #1 guy on their board, and we'll see what school he ultimately picks, but he is very likely headed to the SEC. It felt great to finally get a win on the board to go to 2-8 on the season. Fortunately for us, though, we run into the toughest matchup that we have had in our conference schedule. We're taking on Western Michigan, who right now they stand alone at the top of the MAC. They might very well be the best team in this conference. Them and Buffalo are at the top, but the Broncos here are undefeated in the conference and are headed most likely to a conference championship. But maybe if we spoil their season here and they lose in the final week of the season, maybe not so much. But we are going to hope that we could come out here, pull off an upset, and build on some of the momentum that we have accumulated, as Western Michigan will be on defense first. We happily welcome back Telly Johnson to the lineup. He's missed about half the games this season, so we're happy to have our star running back in the game once more as Holst gets hit on third down. Be a 3 and out. Jalen Buckley, the running back for the Broncos, coming out 110 yards, 2 touchdowns last week. The offense runs through him. Quarterback is Brock Lowry as he goes to the air on first down, and will throw to the outside for a first down completion. But expect a lot of Buckley on the ground if this team especially gets out in front as they throw to the tight end, Blake Bosma, and he will have it to the 42-yard line. As at the 37, now third down and 6, play action. Erweiler comes over the middle, and despite hitting the quarterback, Lowry just delivers in the face of pressure. And now a handoff. Buckley finds a lane, slips through, and gets 8. Nice run there. His first carry goes for 8. And now Lowry gets tackled in the backfield. Loss of 4. Third down and 6. as Brock is going to run. He's got the first down. He's going to go for the end zone. He's down to the 1. And goal to go with little difficulty. It's a touchdown for the Western Michigan Broncos, who basically have no resistance to getting their way to the end zone. We get Telly Johnson to the edge, and look at Telly getting a nice run, getting a double-digit yard run, his first good one since he's been hurt, as Holst gets sacked, and the second of the game for the Western Michigan defense. And how about a quick one off the edge, untouched, third sack, and a rough first quarter so far as Buckley takes the carry for a 3rd down and 3 situation. Lowry up top. That was a high ball. Might have costed him a shot the first down, but it's 4th and inches in their own territory, and they're going for it. And Lowry's running. First down and more. And Lowry, no fear. He gets a big run. And Western Michigan, aggressive. And Buckley, speaking of aggressive, that offensive line for the Broncos, quite aggressive as they are just putting us on our back, screen open, and another first down. And just like that, it is already at the 11-yard line, and they are just well on their way to put more points on the board. Buckley first and goal at the 1. Will he punch it in? Gets the handoff, one cut, and down at the 1. He got stopped, but he's about an inch closer. This time he gets in easily. 14-0 Broncos. And this is not looking good so far, because it's not only just a 14-0 game, it is a pretty dominant 14-0 game, as the battle between, arguably the best team and arguably the worst team in the MAC this year not going our way right now. 4th and inches. Telly Johnson's going to get it. Felt like we needed to do something there, and 4th and inches does go our way, but Holst hit as he's throwing. Pressure in again. I mean, this offensive line has been banged up this year. We gotten both of our guards injured in the last 2 weeks. They're playing, but they're not 100%. And now Telly Johnson on 4th down and 1. Another 4th and short, another conversion. But you can't keep living on 4th down. Eventually, it's going to come back and hurt you, as tight end McQueen's going to have it, as he's the number 2 tight end right now. Morrow's going to be out for the rest of the season. Messed up his shoulder on that touchdown that got called back against UMass. And now Brian is going to have the crab, and he'll have a first down. So at least this offense is moving a little bit, controlling the clock, and Telly Johnson is going to have 9. He's already at 10 carries, so we're leaning on him quite a lot. Make it 11, and it'll be 4th down and 1 again. Will it be 3 for 3? Jalen Poe cuts it inside, but he's not going to get there. And like I said, you can't live on 4th down. Brock Lowry, I mean, we need to spy him at this point. He keeps running on crucial situations, getting another first down. Buckley is going to have a gain of 3, 3rd down and 7 from about midfield. They'll keep it on the ground. And, well, at least we get a stop on defense. But Buckley already had 11 carries, having a nice day. And Telly Johnson, that's not even his fault. Tight end got mowed over, and we couldn't get any yards on that one. At least Applegate's going to hang on. 2 defenders hit him, but he brings in the grab, and we're already down to a minute to go in this half. Throwing a deep ball up top. LaDon Bryan, nice grab. Really good ball tracking, as now with 40 seconds to go, Holst is sacked for a loss of 11. And as now 3rd and 17 hits, he's hit as he's throwing and almost intercepted. But we're going to have to take a field goal here. Kick on its way. It's got the distance. It's got the accuracy. It is good. 25 seconds to go. And what does Western Michigan have here, as they got a big play over the middle? And you think that this team maybe take it to half. They're doing really good right now. They're in control of this game. But no, they're aggressive. They're going to go and load up a shot down the field. Bosma, the tight end, out of bounds in field goal range. And with one play maybe before field goal try, they'll just basically throw it away. Huskies did some work to get 3 points on the board to at least cut into the deficit a little bit. But then in 25 seconds, the Broncos undo all of that. It's 17-3, but while it is just a 2-score game, it doesn't really feel like it right now. It feels all Broncos, and Buckley already 11 touches, 51 yards, put it in the end zone. And while Telly Johnson's getting the football a lot, we can't really rely on the run game if we're going to be permanently down by multiple scores. Erweiler gets a sack to start the second half. Fumbles go in to get recovered by the Broncos, but sets up 3rd and 18, and they're not going to be able to get there. Read option loses a yard, so offense takes the field, and it's crucial that we can maybe put some points on the board here. Late throw will be a 3 and out, so how about a punt? And as if things can't get worse, how about a shanked punt from the 32. It only goes to the 48-yard line. It's like a 20-yard punt as they throw down the field. Broken tackle. Thompson could bring him in. And in one play, 52-yard touchdown. Larry puts it in. 24-3 is your score, and everything's going wrong for this team. Intercepted. 2 plays later, taking it inside the 10, down to the 5, goal to go, and this one could start to run away from us. Lowry is going to get stopped in the backfield, loss of 3 at the 8-yard line. 3rd down and goal, he'll complete it. Leary not going to get into the end zone though. 4th down and goal, they'll go for it. This team is unnecessarily aggressive, and it does help us out to get a stop. I don't know what that really does for us in terms of making a comeback, though, because I don't know how confident I can really be in this team with the way they're playing right now. As 3rd down and 11 hits, it's going to be a completion to LaDon Bryant. It does feel like, though, with the progress we made over the last 2 weeks, 2 of our highest scoring games of the season, our best offensive performances, it's just not going our way this time around. And while we didn't expect things to be quite as successful as they were against UMass, we were hoping just maybe we could put up some level of competence, but this D-line is dominating our offensive line. And it's to throw it away. It's 4th and 25. Even though we're down by 21, gotta still punt the football. As an interception, McCullers takes it back in. McCullers has 2 picks now in the last couple of games. He had one against Toledo. So maybe the offense could put some points on the board. Play action. Holst over the middle. Wide open. Gary Gibbons. All right, gain of 18. 21-yard line now, 3rd quarter winding down. He's going to throw one up top for the end zone. Gibbons not going to be able to bring it in. 4th down and 6. Field goal doesn't really do us any favors. Holst is going to get hit incomplete. And now that was maybe our last chance to do anything as we jump ahead. Just under 7 minutes to go now in the 4th quarter as they hand it off to Buckley. It'll be a stop, 4th down and 6. Now they'll take a field goal finally, doing something semi-conservative. It's 27-3, moving ahead to 3.5 minutes to go. Holst outside, ball was laid, picked off, taken it the other way, and the Broncos are running away with this one. Pick 6 and a 34-3 final. And the biggest blowout of this season for the Huskies, as it's just frustrating when you have 2 games against Toledo and UMass that seemed like you were taking things in the right direction, and then it all just gets kind of undone. Macon came in at the end, didn't really do much better, but I guess a little bit better. It's just a bad game, but we took on a team that was just better than us, more prepared than us. It was fighting for something. We're not really fighting for anything right now. It's not like a bowl game's in our sights. It's not like anything really is going to be all that different between 2 wins and 3 wins. Not to say we don't care about winning. We want to win, but I mean, what is 2 and 3 wins? What's the difference between that? So it's just a bad game all around. I can't really think of much of any positives. And when you're looking at recruiting, we are trying to see if maybe somebody on this offensive line could go commit for us, because we really need offensive linemen badly, like really, really badly. So when we're focusing in on the offensive line, we have some guys that we're in recruiting battles with, and unfortunately, it feels like the offensive lineman has been the biggest struggle for us, not just on the field this year, but in recruiting. We just haven't been able to really reel in these guys, and we're in recruiting battles, and obviously you get into a battle with us. It's not like we are a favorite. It's not like we're going to be anybody's preferred destination right now. So when looking up and down our board at what other offensive line options there were for us, we did take a look at a player that we had previously talked about. How about Samoil Kebelo? This was a guy who was maybe our top offensive line prospect. And, well, as we get later into the season, some of these notable players are going to be committing. And for Samoil Kebelo, while we were holding our breath, hoping that we could have one of our top offensive line prospects be joining the Huskies next year, it's not going to happen. Kebelo has committed to the University of Bowling Green. We did make his final 3, but ultimately he chose Bowling Green, so not only will we be missing out on one of our top offensive line prospects and a guy who would have really fit into this team's run blocking scheme, we will also be having to deal with him in the future, as Kebelo commits to Bowling Green, but that is not the only thing we have to really talk about when it comes to players that pertain to us. We have another story. How about we go and visit the defensive side of the football and linebacker? Here we get a look at one of our top prospects on our board later on in the season, and that is linebacker Alani Varuna. This is a guy who, regardless of where he commits, he's most likely going to be playing in the MAC, so either he is going to be with us or we'll very much be playing against him. A bit undersized at 6'1", but 232 pounds, a compact build, a tough and physical, gap-filling, run-defending linebacker who is obviously always nice to have. This is a team that very much wants to utilize two linebackers, and we love to have a guy who can play on the early downs. But with Varuna, I think what you do have with some excitement and some upside with him is I think he is playable on 3 downs. I think he is adequate enough in coverage, not a liability, maybe not his strength, but he is playable. I think where you are looking at him though as a bit of a struggle is, you know, if he lines up against those 6'4", 6'5", or taller tight ends, he'll struggle. He'll get bodied, he'll get boxed out a little bit. Crazy distance. You would at the very least like him to be a good lateral mover or have some speed to go sideline to sideline. He's definitely more so a guy who's going to be sitting in the middle of your defense, filling in run gaps and going to be stopping the run while providing you at least capable coverage. But like I said, at the very least, a nice 2-down linebacker, somebody who would definitely benefit from playing in a defense where he has another off-ball linebacker next to him. He's not a solo linebacker who you could throw in the middle and leave him on an island. He needs maybe a safety in the box or another co-star at off-ball linebacker with him. But I think Varuna could be a really big asset for this team. He's definitely one of our top prospects that we are going after, and we'll see if we can land him as we are putting in quite a bit of assets into getting him. We're gonna hope we can put on a bit of a show for our final game of the season, and they saved the best for last in this one. How about probably the 2 worst teams in the MAC taking each other on? Kent State, who is the only team in this conference who has been worse than us throughout this season, as Drew DeShields, the quarterback, you could see under 50% completion percentage this season. It's not been a good year for him. 1-10 versus 2-9. Somebody's got to win this one, and we start off the game. First play, Porter with an interception. Yeah, you can really tell Kent State's quarterback not really all that good. And the first play of the game is an interception for the defense, as now we sweep it out. Telly Johnson, he is going to be having a game where he is now fully healthy. And it took him till the final game of the season to be fully healthy, as even though he played last week, didn't really get to see all that much of him in the second half. He was playing, still recovering from that injury. He's finally fully healthy, but at 2-9, maybe too little too late for us. Just for a little bit of pride, we'd really like to win this game, because if we lose this one, we will be officially like bottom of the MAC record-wise, because Kent State obviously would be 2-10 along with us and a tiebreaker. So we would really like to not be complete bottom of the barrel as a sack comes in. Jelani Williams also knocked out early in this one. We'll see if he returns anytime soon. Blitz sent it on 3rd and 11. Outside, that's going to be caught. Inside enemy territory at the 38. Handoff, running back Gavin Garcia. Stiff arms a defender, and right up the middle he goes for a gain of 13. Now McCullers down. That's a second front 7 member hurt for us, so I mean, last week of the season, I guess there's no going to be any long-lasting impacts, but you'd like to have them for today at least, as they convert on 3rd down. 12-yard line, pass outside is going to be caught by Clark. Set up at the 4-yard line, trying to take the lead here as DeShields stepping up, and not really good pocket management. He runs right into a sack. DeShields now on 3rd down, as he's going to run right into Dixon again. And another one for Dixon. 2 back-to-back plays. Field goal try. The chip shot's no good. And NIU takes control of the football, still with the lead. Also, just a note, Jalen Macon, the quarterback today, he gets the start in the final game of the season. Just thought we'd throw something different out there after he had a nice game against Toledo, but he throws an interception, and now right back into the red zone they go. Drew DeShields to the 3rd and 2, screen pass, Garcia inside the 10, and fighting to the 7-yard line as he give him another opportunity to take the lead. And this time they got it. The flashes are in, and we are losing to Kent State in the first quarter. Macon to throw underneath, caught Gary Givens, and he'll have 9 As from the 40-yard line, it'll be a handoff to Telly Johnson. 4th down and inches. Feels like we've been in this situation so many times this year. 4th and 1, 4th and inches. We go for it. We get it. As now Macon with Johnson into block. He'll throw right over the middle, and a high pass, and it's going to be reeled in. From the 43-yard line. Macon, there you go. Partridge got it. And at the 35-yard line. And we're stringing together a couple of nice plays. Telly Johnson runs right into contact. Just wanted to take him head on, and he'll get 6. First quarter ending with this play. Partridge spin move, and he is going to be struggling to go down, but he eventually does after a gain of 9. 2nd down and 11. Macon stepping up into a sack. Loss of 5. And now 3rd and 16. We're going to stall out in field goal range again. Not quite. LaDon Bryan. Gain of 21, and it's goal to go for the lead. Telly Johnson. And welcome back to the end zone, Telly. We are on top, and the offense looked pretty solid on that drive, at least 8 minutes ago in this second quarter. To Shields. Blitz sent in by Finley. He wanted to get a sack in there on the nickel blitz, but instead, we get another injury to another member of this defense. That's down 3 guys, as cannot afford to lose everybody. 3rd down and 8. DeShields wide open. Man, Clark, he missed him. He was wide open. And now this punt is going to be an awful one. How about a 10-yard punt? Oh my goodness, this Kent State team, they're 1-10 for a reason. As Macon rolling out, open man, he missed them, and it's gonna be intercepted. Oh, this is difficult to watch right now. Just a wide open receiver, he overthrew it, and it's gonna be a pick by Kent State. And now Garcia, the running back, got 9 on the carry. 3rd down and 1. Garcia, open lane, he's got the 1st down to the 42-yard line. As now we're about halfway through this quarter. To the edge, Garcia goes again. Another 1st down run, so Garcia running it pretty nicely. 2nd down and 5 from the 26. Keep it on the ground. If it's working, why go away from it? And he's down to the 12-yard line. 9 carries in this first half. Make it 10. And he's gotten every single touch on this drive, basically. 2nd down and 4. This time, DeShields keeps it, cuts it in. Touchdown. And Kent State, well, we've given them the opportunity, so yeah, they got 14 points on the board. Macon has played, I think, generally pretty okay, aside from the 2 really bad interceptions. He takes a sack there to set up a screen with 24 yards to go, and Johnson weaves through his blockers and gets a nice lead. Telly Johnson, he's got 1 man to beat at the 20. Step forward, stays in bounds. Touchdown, Telly Johnson. How about 80-plus yards on a screen all the way for the lead? The biggest play of the year for the Huskies. And Johnson, I mean, that's his 2nd big play of this season. He had that big 70-yard touchdown run earlier in the year, and he has been so good when he has played. It's just a shame that he only got to play like half the season this year. Defense back out there. 3rd down and 3 for DeShields. And he's going to get hit, thrown away. And even though this defense is down a couple of men, it's been playing adequately, at least. I mean, when we're not turning the football over and giving them good field position, they haven't been too bad. But it's also Kent State, so you can't really celebrate too much. Macon is going to slide down for a 1st down. 45-yard line. Blitz sent in over the middle. There you go, Gary Givens. 1 minute to play in this second half as they go to run. Telly is going to have the first as he will be at the 40-yard line. 31 seconds to play. Macon is going to find a wide open Johnson out of the backfield. And Telly is going to have about 100 receiving yards this game as he'll have 20 seconds to play. And Macon got Johnson again on another check down. And NIU finally going to burn one of their timeouts. 2nd down and 15. Macon is rolling, throwing, and 1st down. All right, burn another timeout. 9 seconds to play. You got a shot at the end zone, maybe, as Macon will just check it down to Telly. Spin move. Telly inside the 10, down to the 4. And now with 2 seconds to play, they want the touchdown. They're going for it all. Macon scores. Touchdown, LaDon Bryan. What a drive with just about a minute to play. And Telly Johnson out of the backfield with 3 catches. And that last catch with 9 seconds to play hits a move to give us the opportunity to even try for a touchdown there. If he didn't hit that, you're kicking the field goal. And obviously you're going to be happy with 3 points to end the half, but it gives us 7. 24-14 is your score. And Johnson, maybe not his best game on the ground, but through the air, definitely a career day for him. At this point, why not design a little play for him, as now we're throwing him the football football by design, and he gets a first down. We have to start with the football in the second half, already with a 10-point lead. Yeah, like I said, Johnson not really doing much when it comes to running the football, but he's made up for it through the air. And Givens now really feel like, since those 2 interceptions as well, and Macon's played a pretty solid game as he'll throw underneath. There you go. Rasmussen, the other tight end. I mean, a bunch of tight ends getting involved because of the injuries that we've had at the tight end position. Morrow has really kind of hurt us because he was a pretty solid second tight end, but an interception this time. That one not really on Macon because he got hit as he was throwing. That was not the intended receiver. Just took a shot and the ball happened to go to a defender. Not really going to blame him that much for that one. The first 2, though, that's all on him. But a chance to force a 3 and out as 3rd down and 11 to Shields. That's just floated up there and it's brought in. Clark. That's a nice grab. He had that wide open play. That could have been like a touchdown that was just missed. So nice to see him getting involved when he kind of got sold on a touchdown as DeShield. Seems like all he's able to really do is run, as he's not really doing much with his arm. And he's taking a sack. Another one. 5th of the game for NIU's defense, as they have not really had any issues with the injuries, as Wyndham with an interception. Everybody's getting involved today on defense. And now a direct snap. Telly Johnson. We usually save that for short yardage situations, but he'll get 9 on a first down carry. As they go to run, Telly, we're just giving him the football. I mean, he's got fresh legs. He hasn't played that much in the past 2 months, so give him the football. Let him lead us to victory. As a first down completion there. 3rd quarter winding down. Just over a minute to go. Wide open again. Tight end. Applegate's got the nice gain of 5. Has 40 seconds to play. Draw. 3rd down for Telly. And it's a first. And a gain of 9. We're on to the 4th quarter. Play action. Macon rolls left. And he's got the tight end floating it out there for him. You know, to his credit, I will say, Jalen Macon's played better football after being benched. I still am not going to sit here and act like he's played incredible, but he's definitely played better since being benched. As Apple gets stiff arm, touchdown, and a 3-score lead. I can't remember the last time the Huskies have had that big of a lead, as it's 31-14. And another thing I will say to the credit of this Husky squad, their 3 highest scoring games all the last 4 games of the season. How about, was it 29 points, 34 points, 31 points? Obviously, by no means would you call that incredible scoring, but I mean, the 3 highest scoring games did come at the end of the year, and it really felt like there were times where this team was able to put it together a little bit in the final month of the year, whereas the first month they looked completely unprepared. I'm glad that they settled in a little bit and showed some flashes, but I mean, how much are you really celebrating over like one of the worst teams in college football? So like, I don't want to rain on the parade too much, but 4th down and 7 with 6 minutes to go, and DeShields trying to cut it down. I mean, they could have taken the field goal, but they'll get the touchdown. So don't want to celebrate too early, as it is down to a 10-point game with just about 5.5 to go. Macon nowhere on the read option, loses 2. And now maybe just trying to get into like a 4-minute offense situation. But you can't really do that if you're getting sacked. And you're going backwards. You'll punt the football. And Kent State's got great field position. And an open man. And it's bringing in a first down grab, 30-yard line. They can kick a field goal here, and that will cut it to a 1-score game. If you choke a 3-score lead to Kent State, that's just the cherry on top of this season. Jacob Finley gets the sack, sending him on the nickel blitz. 3rd down and 10, 3:30 to play. It is he's throwing, and they'll have to settle for that field goal, so at least the defense holds them there. Kick on its way. It is good, and it's a 1-score game. 24-31 is your score. 3:30 to go, and we'll see if the offense can put an end to it. And Telly Johnson takes the carry, and he's banged up. And Jalen Poe will check in. That kind of stings a little bit as it's 2nd down and 12 as they'll throw for a completion. 3rd down and 1. Give it to Jalen Poe, and he gets the first down. Kent State gonna have to start burning timeouts. We're closing in on a victory here. Read option's not gonna help us out though. 3rd down and 10. You got the big conversion in you. It's gonna be caught by Givens, and they're gonna go for it. They want to end the game here. 4th down and 2. Caught Givens. First down. And the game is over. NIU is going to hold on for a win to go to 3-9 on the season. And, I mean, final 4 games of the year, 2-2, very close to being 3-1 with that Toledo game, and the 3 highest scoring games of the year. not amazing overall play, but definitely better. And Jalen Macon, I know he threw 3 picks. One of them I'm not really holding against him too hard, but over 300 yards, good completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, made some plays. I'll take that. That's still better than what we got. Dilly Johnson, 124 yards through the air as well, and that big touchdown pass that he was able to, take all the way to the house from 80 plus. I really think that this team, while a 3-9 season on its own is not going to be anything you're celebrating, showed something at the end. I think they settled in nicely, and unfortunately for us, more offensive line issues as we lose one of our top center prospects to another team in our conference, Ohio. So offensive line issues still going to persist potentially, and we'll check in on some of the other better players in the nation here as we will hop in and take a look at one of the other top receivers in the country for this upcoming recruiting class. I wanted to cover one of the top receiving prospects in the nation, so how about 5-star, number 3 wide receiver in the nation from the state of Florida, Dieter Keaton. I think he is most likely going to go as the best slot wide receiver in the nation coming out for this recruiting class. The top 2 receivers are more perimeter threats. Keaton is a guy who exclusively lined up at slot. His high school coach very much subscribed to that idea. Put your best receiver in the slot and let him go to work. And he went to work in high school with well over 1,000 yards, and he is incredibly shifty after the catch. And for a guy who lines up in the slot, has a very nice route tree to him. A lot of the guys who are coming out of high school and are coming into a primary slot position don't really have a fully developed route tree, and I think that's what separates Keaton from a lot of other guys who are 5'10", 200 pounds at a slot receiver. That's a pretty normal height, weight, speed, roll type of player, but I think Keaton is a level above all these other guys because of the fact that he has a pretty diverse route tree. And obviously the negatives are going to be his outside experience. He has an occasional injury issue, and he puts the ball on the ground a couple of times. Some stuff that are fixable. You could fix fumbling issues. You can line them up on the outside a little bit more. Injuries are always something that are, you gotta play it as it goes, and you can't always predict injuries or bank on injuries. And in high school, he's gotten banged up a couple of times, has suffered a significant injury in his freshman season, but hasn't sustained any major injuries the past 3 years. So maybe it's something to keep an eye on, but I think overall can be okay. Right now, the front runner is Miami. Not too far behind is Alabama, USC, Clemson, all of which could find themselves landing the top slot receiver in the nation. Which will all put a wrap on this video and this season. We have a very eventful next episode. We get into the off season, see who's staying, seeing who's going, seeing who's joining, and where some of these other top prospects of this recruiting class are going to be headed. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of the season and how everything is going to be formulating in this off season, because it's going to be a pretty eventful one. Like, comment, and subscribe, as I will see you guys all in the next one.